Again, grade 12s, urban hierarchies here, central place theory. That's what we're looking at today. This was developed by a German guy by the name of Walter Christaller. The idea was developed in 1933 already. And it has to do with the location, size, and spacing of urban settlements, as well as how many of these settlements are, and of course the different functions that they offer. So the main ideas that make up this theory are people want the cheapest price and they want it to be convenient. Businesses themselves obviously want to maximize their profits, and distance means money. Distance means traveling costs. So the definition, a nice definition, is a central place is an urban settlement that provides goods and services to the surrounding areas. Now, spatial competition is another term that comes into this theory, and it's when central places compete with each other for their customers. We look at it again here. If we talk about low-order goods and services, that's sort of everyday items that you would buy at your nearest store, a spices shop, petrol station, ATM, butchery, bakery, and so on. High-order goods and services are more specialized, they're more expensive, and you'd be willing to travel further. So that would be things like a BMW car dealership, a travel agent, as far as services are concerned, an eye specialist or a university. Next, we're going to look at three terms that are very important, or that are pretty much central to this theory. The first one is threshold population. So the definition is the minimum number of people that are required to support a business. Now, if we look at this diagram over here on the right, bread and milk, that's your low order goods. Bread and milk, you would only need a few customers to support that business. A clothing retailer, you'd need a little more. A furniture shop, that you would need more. And finally, a specialized jeweler, for example, you would need a much higher threshold population. Sphere of influence, also part of this theory. This is the actual area from which a business draws its customers. We also sometimes refer to it as the market area. So if we look here, this yellow circle in the middle, that would be the sphere of influence for bread and milk. The blue one, they were looking at clothing retail, so it needs to be a bigger sphere of influence, and so on as well for the furniture shop, and eventually the specialized jeweler. So if we look at it like this, the more often a service or function is needed, the smaller its sphere of influence. So you would buy bread and milk a lot more often than what you would buy furniture. So this last one here, I think is the one that's the easiest to get your head around. Excuse me. The range, and this is the maximum distance a customer is willing to travel in order to purchase something. So again, bread and milk, low order goods, that you're not willing to travel 50 kilometers to go and get. That you would go and get from your local shop. A clothing retailer, you travel a little further. Furniture is something that you don't buy often. It's something you would think about the purchase a lot more than just bread and milk, and for that you'd be willing to drive further. And then finally your high order goods, and then also functions. If the love of your life was going to get engaged, if you were going to get engaged to the love of your life, you would most definitely be willing to travel a lot further to get her the diamond ring. So that would also be, this also says why there's so many more of the low order facilities like a spices shop or a cafe. Those you even find in residential areas. Whereas you won't easily find a furniture shop or a specialized jeweler around the residential area. Those would only be in the big shopping centers. I think that's it. Thank you.